Let's talk about that first line, I need to find myself. It sounds beautiful, doesn't it? It sounds deep, spiritual, mature, like she's on some path of self discovery, trying to heal and grow. But let's strip away the poetry for a second and look at what it really means. When someone says, I need to find myself, what they're really saying is, asterisk, you're not part of the version of me I'm trying to become right now. Asterisk, and that's a truth that hurts. Because you might have been there through everything, through her ups and downs, through her doubts and dreams. You might have been the one who held her together when she was breaking, but suddenly she needs to find herself, and that journey doesn't include you. That's not your failure, that's her realization, and here's where most men mess up, they try to hold on. They start convincing her that she doesn't need to find herself alone, that they can grow together. But let me tell you this, when someone decides they need space to rediscover who they are, nothing you say will change that. You can't negotiate your way into someone's growth. You can't be the mirror and the reason she's looking for her reflection at the same time. So, what do you do when you hear those words? You let her go, not out of anger, not out of ego, but out of asterisk, respect asterisk. Respect for her process, and more importantly, respect for your own peace. See, when she says she needs to find herself, what she's really saying is she feels lost, and maybe she is. Maybe she's confused about who she is, what she wants, or what love even means to her anymore. But you can't be the map for someone who doesn't even know the destination. If you try, you'll only get lost too. That's the danger most people don't talk about. When you try to help someone find themselves while they're drifting, they'll end up using asterisk you asterisk as a reference point for their confusion. You'll become the thing they measure themselves against, the person they test boundaries on. One moment they'll pull you close because they miss your stability, and the next they'll push you away because your presence reminds them of who they used to be. It's emotional whiplash, and you'll keep holding on because you remember who she was before she got lost. But people change, and sometimes their evolution means your chapter ends. That's life. You can't chase someone through their healing and expect to stay whole yourself. If she needs to find herself, let her, but don't pause your own journey waiting for her to return. Because while she's finding herself, asterisk you asterisk could be losing yourself, waiting, hoping, analyzing every text, every silence, trying to decode her distance. That's not love, that's self-abandonment disguised as loyalty. You have to be strong enough to step back and say, okay, find yourself, but I'm not going to lose myself in the process. That's the difference between attachment and self-respect. And sometimes when you let go, when you stop chasing, when you stop trying to prove your worth, something powerful happens. You start to find asterisk yourself asterisk. You begin to realize that your peace, your energy, your confidence don't depend on anyone else's clarity. You stop needing to be chosen because you've already chosen yourself. So when she says, I need to find myself, hear it for what it is, closure. Not a maybe, not a promise. It's the moment you turn the page, because if you're meant to meet again, you will, but not as the same people. And if not, that's okay too. Some people come into your life to teach you how to let go, not how to hold on. So let her go with love, but keep your self-respect, because sometimes walking away isn't losing her, it's finding you. You deserve someone better. It sounds gentle, doesn't it? Almost noble, like she's doing you a favor by stepping back, as if she's trying to protect you from herself. But let's be honest, it's rarely about you deserving better. It's about her not wanting to give more. It's a soft goodbye dressed as kindness. It's an emotional exit that saves her from guilt. When someone truly believes you deserve better, they don't asterisk leave asterisk, they asterisk rise asterisk. They try harder, they communicate, they grow with you, because love, when it's real, doesn't walk away under the excuse of you deserve more. Love says, I want to be that better person for you. So when you hear those words, you deserve someone better, don't romanticize them. See them for what they are, a gentle rejection. She's telling you she's done trying. Maybe she's emotionally detached. Maybe she's found comfort in her independence or even in someone else. But instead of admitting that, she coats it in sympathy because it's easier to say you deserve better than to say I don't want this anymore. And you, because you care, might start convincing her otherwise. You'll tell her she's wrong. You'll tell her she's all you ever wanted, that you don't need someone better. You'll start negotiating with her guilt, not realizing you're feeding into her emotional exit plan. Every word you say gives her more reason to feel right about leaving, because in that moment your begging confirms her belief that you asterisk do asterisk deserve better than someone who doesn't feel the same anymore. You see, when someone uses that line, it's not about your worth, it's about asterisk, their capacity asterisk. Maybe she can't love the way you do. Maybe she's too scared of emotional depth. Maybe she's tired or confused or just not in the same emotional place as you. And that's okay, but you can't heal that for her. You can't love her enough to make her want to stay. That's the mistake so many men make, thinking effort can replace desire. You can give her the world, and she'll still leave if her heart isn't in it. Because love doesn't grow where there's guilt, it grows where there's choice. So when she says, you deserve someone better, hear it as the truth, not the words, but the meaning behind them. She's telling you she can't or won't be that better person for you. That's not something to be angry about. It's something to accept. Acceptance is power, because the moment you stop arguing with her words, you start listening to her reality. And here's the truth, someone who wants you will never use that sentence. They'll never tell you to find better, because to them, asterisk, you are the better asterisk. They'll fight for you, they'll show up, they'll want to grow through the hard parts. But when she tells you you deserve better, that's your cue to stand tall and walk away with your dignity intact. Not out of pride, but out of understanding that love shouldn't make you feel like you have to prove your worth. You shouldn't have to convince someone to see the value you bring. Don't stay where love feels like pity. Don't chase someone who's already made peace with losing you, because the longer you try to make her see your value, the more you teach her that you'll accept her absence as long as it's polite. So when she says you deserve someone better, smile, not because you agree, but because you finally understand what she means. She's right, you do deserve better. You deserve someone who doesn't have to say it, someone who asterisk shows asterisk it, someone who doesn't see your love as a burden, but as a blessing. So don't beg, don't chase, don't argue. Just walk away, because sometimes the best response to you deserve better is silence and the strength to prove it. I'm just not ready for a relationship. You've probably heard that before, soft tone, careful words, maybe even tears in her eyes. It sounds honest, right? Like she's protecting your feelings, like she's simply in a phase where she can't commit. But here's the truth most people don't want to admit. When someone says they're not ready for a relationship, it rarely means they're incapable of love. It usually means they're not ready for asterisk you asterisk. If she met someone who matched her emotional rhythm, who triggered the same level of excitement, desire, or admiration she's looking for, she'd suddenly be ready. People always become ready for the right person. What she's really saying is that, for whatever reason, You're not the one she wants to take that next step with. And that's not an insult, it's just clarity. The problem is, most people mistake it for confusion. When a woman says she's not ready, men often take it as a challenge. They think if they wait long enough, stay patient, prove their loyalty, she'll eventually see their worth. So they stick around. They play the understanding guy. They listen, they wait, they comfort her when she's lonely, and they hope that one day she'll wake up and realize that the person she was searching for was standing right there the whole time. But that day never comes because she already knows you're there. She just doesn't feel what she wants to feel. She's keeping you close enough for comfort, but far enough to stay free. It's emotional limbo, and it's draining. Here's the dangerous part. When she says she's not ready for a relationship, she's not saying she doesn't want attention. She still wants the texts, the calls, the emotional support. She still wants the validation, the care, the affection, just without the responsibility. And because you care, you'll give it to her. You'll be there every time she feels lost, confused, or lonely. You'll pick up the phone when she calls, even though she told you she doesn't want anything serious. And in that moment, you're no longer a partner, you're a placeholder. You're keeping her emotionally fed until she meets someone who sparks the readiness she told you she didn't have. That's the hardest pill to swallow, realizing that her not ready didn't mean she was empty. It meant she was saving her energy for something else. You can't fix that. You can't make her ready by proving your patience or loyalty. Readiness isn't built through effort, it's born through alignment. If she's not ready, then your presence won't make her ready. It'll just make her comfortable. So what should you do? You walk away, not to manipulate her, not to make her chase you, but to protect yourself, worth. You can't stay in someone's maybe and expect peace. You can't keep giving to someone who's only half there, because while she's figuring herself out, you'll start losing sight of yourself. You'll question your value, your timing, your effort when the truth is, you were just offering something to someone who wasn't ready to receive it. And maybe she's being honest. Maybe she really isn't ready. Maybe she's healing from something. Maybe she's scared to trust. Maybe she's afraid to open up again. But none of that changes what you deserve. You deserve reciprocity, not excuses. You deserve consistency, not confusion. So don't wait for her to be ready. Let her figure herself out without you standing by as the emotional safety net. Because when she finally is ready, you shouldn't still be in the same place. You should have already moved on, grown, and found someone who doesn't hesitate to choose you. I'm not ready for a relationship should never sound like hope. It should sound like closure, because love that's real doesn't stall, it moves. And if she's not moving with you, that's your sign to keep walking forward without looking back. I don't know what I want. At first, it sounds like honesty, and maybe it is. But honesty doesn't always mean clarity. When someone says, I don't know what I want, what they're really telling you is, I'm confused, but I'm not confused enough to stop keeping you close. It's a statement that keeps you in a loop, a cycle of hope and disappointment, of mixed signals and false starts. And here's the painful truth. People who don't know what they want still want something. They just don't want to lose their options while figuring it out. That's what makes it so emotionally exhausting, because you'll be there, thinking that if you're patient enough, kind enough, loving enough, you'll become the one thing they finally realize they want, but it doesn't work that way. When a woman says she doesn't know what she wants, she's not asking you to help her decide, she's telling you she's undecided about you. You might be the person she enjoys talking to, the one who makes her feel safe, understood, cared for. But you might not be the person she feels drawn to commit to, and in that gap between her comfort and her confusion, you'll start losing your peace. She'll give you moments that feel like everything: a long conversation, a deep confession, maybe even intimacy. And then, just when you think things are becoming real, she'll pull away again. She'll say she's confused, or she needs space, or she doesn't want to hurt you. You'll tell yourself she's scared, that she just needs time, but what she really needs is asterisk distance asterisk, because she can feel that your heart is in a place hers isn't ready to reach. The dangerous part is that this kind of uncertainty doesn't end cleanly. It fades slowly. You'll keep trying to be understanding, hoping your patience will change her mind. You'll tell yourself she just needs to see how loyal I am, how real I am. But here's what you need to know: clarity doesn't come from convincing. It comes from asterisk connection asterisk, and if she hasn't felt that yet, nothing you do will create it. You have to understand that "I don't know what I want" is not an invitation to wait. It's a gentle warning. She's telling you she might hurt you, she just doesn't know when, so believe her. Because the moment you stay, you become part of her confusion. You become the comfort she doesn't want to lose, but also the attachment she doesn't want to deepen. You'll be caught in the middle, not close enough to be chosen, but not far enough to be forgotten. And you'll start losing yourself in the process. You'll question your worth. You'll overanalyze every conversation, every silence, every little shift in tone. You'll wonder what you did wrong when the truth is, you didn't do anything wrong. You just gave your heart to someone who wasn't ready to hold it. The hardest lesson in love is realizing that someone's confusion is not your responsibility to solve. You can't guide someone into knowing what they want. They have to want you without question, without hesitation. If they don't, then staying is just a slow form of rejection. So when you hear, "I don't know what I want," don't take it as a challenge. Take it as the answer. Don't turn it into a project. Don't wait for clarity that may never come. Respect yourself enough to step back and say, when you figure it out, "Maybe I won't be here anymore." Because that's the truth by the time she decides. You might already be done waiting. Walking away from confusion doesn't make you cold, it makes you wise. Because love should bring peace, not puzzles. The right person won't make you question where you stand. They won't be unsure about your place in their life. So when someone says they don't know what they want, believe them and walk away before their uncertainty becomes your pain. You're too much. Those words hit deep, don't they? Because they don't just question what you do. They question asterisk who you are. Asterisk when someone tells you you're too much. What they're really saying is that your intensity, your honesty, your depth, the parts of you that make you asterisk, make them uncomfortable. But here's what most people forget: being too much is only a problem for someone who's not asterisk enough asterisk to match it. When she says, "You're too emotional," it's not that your emotions are wrong. It's that she's not ready for real connection, the kind that doesn't hide behind games or surface level affection. When she says, "You're too honest," it's not your truth that's the issue, it's her inability to face her own. And when she says, "You care too much," it's not your care that's the problem, it's her fear of being loved in a way she might never be able to return. People call you too much when your presence exposes how little they're giving, your consistency makes their inconsistency stand out. Your openness highlights their emotional walls, your commitment reminds them of their own avoidance. So instead of stepping up, they step back. Instead of growing with you, they label you, because it's easier to blame your intensity than admit their own fear of depth. The truth is, your too much isn't too much for the right person. It's just too much for someone who wants control, who prefers to stay safe, who isn't ready to meet someone that raw, that passionate, that asterisk real. Asterisk because being with someone like you requires effort, it requires vulnerability, it requires showing up even when it's uncomfortable, and most people aren't built for that. They like the idea of deep love until it demands something real from them. So when she says you're too much, don't shrink. Don't apologize for being expressive, for loving loudly, for caring deeply. Don't dull your light just to make her feel more comfortable in her shadows. Because every time you tone yourself down to fit someone's limited capacity, you lose a little piece of who you are. You start walking on eggshells around your own emotions, second, guessing your instincts, suppressing your voice, and that's how you begin to disappear in a relationship that was never meant to hold your fullness. Let me tell you something real. You were never meant to be small. You were not built for half connections or people who only understand love when it's convenient. You were built for depth, for intensity, passion, and meaning, and the right person will not call that too much. They will call it asterisk everything they were looking for. Asterisk, the moment you stop apologizing for your emotional truth, you start attracting people who are strong enough to handle it. Because your too much is only overwhelming to those who want something easy, not something real. Easy love fades fast. Real love challenges you, pushes you, grows you, but it also holds space for you. It doesn't make you question if your heart is too loud. It doesn't ask you to edit your soul to fit someone else's comfort zone. So if she tells you you're too much, let her go. Not out of bitterness, but out of understanding that you were never meant to fit into her small world. Let her find someone who matches her level, and you'll find someone who matches yours. Someone who won't flinch at your passion or run from your truth. Someone who feels lucky that you love the way you do. Remember this, being too much isn't your weakness, it's your power. It means you feel deeply, love genuinely, and show up completely. Never let anyone convince you to be less just so they can feel more in control. Because the right person won't be intimidated by your fire, they'll be inspired by it, so don't dim your light to make her stay. Let her go and keep shining, because what's too much for her will be asterisk exactly right asterisk for someone else. She says, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Those words cut deeper than silence. Because they sound like love, they sound gentle, kind, mature, but they carry the same finality as goodbye. When someone says, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, they're not confused, they're being careful. They don't want to hurt you, but they also don't want to stay. It's their way of easing out without breaking everything at once. The truth is, love isn't always equal. Sometimes one person loves with fire and the other loves with memory. She might still care about you. She might appreciate your kindness, your loyalty, the way you've been there for her. She might even miss you when you're gone. But deep down, she knows her heart isn't burning for you anymore. And that's the difference between loving someone and being asterisk in love asterisk with them. You can't fix that difference. You can't turn comfort back into passion just because you wish harder. Love doesn't work that way. Once the emotional energy shifts, once the attraction fades, once her soul stops leaning toward you, no amount of effort can reignite what's already gone cold. And yet, that's what most people try to do. When you hear her say those words, your first instinct will be to fight. You'll want to remind her of everything you've built, everything you've shared, everything you've been through. You'll list memories, you'll talk about how strong your bond is, you'll promise to do better. But here's the brutal truth: she's not talking about logic. She's talking about asterisk feeling asterisk, and feelings don't respond to reasoning. When someone says, I'm not in love with you, they've already detached emotionally. They may not even understand when it happened. It's like one day, something inside them quietly turned off. And that's what hurts the most, because you can see it in their eyes before they ever say the words. You can feel it in the silence, in the distance, in how they start to look at you like a memory instead of a partner. She still loves you because she respects you. She might still care deeply about your well-being, but she no longer feels the spark that drives desire, that hunger to connect, that pull to stay. And instead of admitting that outright, she softens it with the phrase, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, hoping it will hurt less. But it never does. Here's what you need to understand: that statement isn't a challenge. It's not an invitation to prove your worth or fight harder for her heart. It's a confession, one that gives you the closure she's too kind to make cruel. And your job isn't to convince her she's wrong. Your job is to asterisk believe her. Asterisk because the moment she says it, she's telling you exactly where she stands. So what do you do then? You walk away with grace. You don't beg. You don't chase. You don't ask her to feel something she no longer does. You thank her for being honest, even if it breaks you, because pretending love still lives where it's already gone is how people lose themselves completely. It's hard, I won't lie. You'll miss her voice, her presence, her warmth. You'll replay every moment trying to find where it started fading. But don't get trapped there. Don't keep searching for reasons to stay tied to something that's already let go of you. The love she gave was real. The time she shared mattered, but it was a chapter, not the whole story. And if she's no longer in love, forcing her to stay only drains both of you. You can't rebuild connection on obligation. It has to come from desire, from choice. So take her words as the truth they are, not the hope you wish they were. Let her go, not because you stopped loving her, but because love, real love, deserves to be mutual. She says she loves you, but she's not in love with you. That's your sign to love asterisk yourself asterisk enough to stop waiting for someone whose heart has already moved on. Because one day you'll meet someone who says, I love you, and means every part of it, no conditions, no confusion, no past tense.